let's start with the beginning. I need water. Yes, hello? Not really. 1 second. Starting off great, aren't we? Take two. Take two. Starting these is always fucking weird. I don't know. Water is just... You ever have water? Fucking delicious. Hola amigos! Welcome to my channel. First video. Why am I punchy? I'm in a punchy mood today. What's wrong with me? I just wanna... Ooh. I just wanna fight, I guess. I don't even know how to box. Should I learn how to box? Oh my god. Should I learn how to fight? Should I learn how to box? No mames, fool. We're gonna learn how to box. Okay. It's a gloomy day. It's raining outside. Is it still raining? No, but it is still gloomy and it is windy. So I think today we're going to keep it simple. Let's design a basic tee. Oh! Again, why the punching? Why the punching? Oh, I can see myself. Stay hydrated. Okay, so let's talk about this project a little bit. I love designing and I design things all the damn time. So I thought, why not for this channel? Let's just go through the basic garments, illustrate and design them, and then at the end of a few videos we can actually have a whole look that we put together and I can show you how I go about that process. And so today we're going to do it very simple. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to just design a basic tee. Now, I was up for debate whether to make it a graphic tee, but I think designing just a basic tee that has nothing on it and maybe opens up the opportunity for a graphic would be great, because then maybe next week we could design a graphic together. That could be fun. Okay, so for this first project, I think we have to sort of explain it as what the end goal is. The end goal is to at least have one design of a basic tee. That means a plain t-shirt. I personally, because I enjoy challenging myself, I want to do a sort of collection of t-shirts. So I want 3 types of basic tees. One that is just a t-shirt, plain and simple, maybe one design element with it, and then the other 2 that have something more interesting happening. We're going to go about that process. I'm going to show you how I conceptualize just a basic garment, not a look, because the difference from here, designing a garment versus a look, is this. We do not have to keep in mind what is being worn around it. It is a standalone piece, but we do have to keep in mind what potentially could be worn with it. T-shirts are commonly worn under sweaters, hoodies, jackets. They could be worn on their own. So realistically, what cut we're going for on this matters as well. I think I'm gonna go for a regular fit. Maybe not too fit, maybe a slight curve in the side seam. I could go about the history of the t-shirt, but I don't know if we have that time or if I have the attention span for that. But essentially, they were made once upon a time, and they are called t-shirts because they literally, when you hold them flat, look like the letter T. Or rather, that was the original cut of them. They're usually made out of a jersey. That's what the fabric is called. Sometimes they're cotton, sometimes they're polyester, sometimes they're a cotton poly blend. And sometimes they're even of like a silk, like jersey that is like really silky. And luxurious. But I think for today I want to keep it cotton for a specific reason. Cotton's washable, it's machine washable, and it's actually easy to take care of. And in my mind, whoever is wearing this t-shirt is going to be able to wear it for everyday use, so you can get a lot of use out of it. So we want something that is going to stand the test of time, ideally something that is timeless, that's going to be able to be inserted into a wardrobe regardless of the season, regardless of the year. I don't think we're going to be able to do that with all 3 of the tees, but we're going to try and we're going to see what we come up with in the end. Depending on how successful we are, we could use these design elements for the other looks. Perhaps. Since we are starting with the t-shirt, whatever the final look is going to be is kind of going to have to revolve around this t-shirt, at least one of these t-shirts. Since we're designing 3 t-shirts, I think designing 3 bottoms, 3 jackets, 3 shoes, and 3 bags in the future just kind of fits with this whole idea of this collection. But maybe we do 3 t-shirts, 2 pants to be worn and mix and match with the t-shirts. a pair of shoes that could be worn with them, maybe 2 pairs of shoes, you know, maybe something casual, maybe something dressy, and then maybe 1 bag that just fits with the looks and 1 jacket that fits with all 3 looks. We'll decide that when we get there. We can't kill this cow if we don't own it yet. The vegans might hate that. I'm not killing a cow, I promise. Although I had a burger last night, so maybe I did contribute to it. I apologize. Okay, so I have my notes. So if I'm looking over here, mind your business. I'm still talking to you, but what's important is right here. And this water, baby. Fuck. Something about nice cold water just coming down into the chest. Just heaven. Okay, moving on. So, what are some ideas that we have for this t-shirt? Now, usually when I want to start designing a garment, I start doing something that I was taught to call a brain dump. It sounds graphic, it sounds weird, I know, but let me explain. It's essentially where you get all of the ideas in your pretty little skull and just put them somewhere where you can see them. Whether that's sketching, whether that's compiling pictures together and creating a mood board, or maybe it's just writing ideas down just so you can see where your brain is going. You gotta do the brain dump. Some people also call it, what do they call it? It's something in like critical thinking. I don't know, but I know it as brain dump. You take all your ideas and you put them somewhere you can see them so you can see where your brain is going. Excuse me. So, I think for this sort of collection of t-shirts, I want to play with empty space, in a sense, or not empty space, that's like a wrong word to use. I want to play with openings in the t-shirt. I want to play with what ways we can make this t-shirt sort of show skin in a very intricate way, have openings into them that can be a little bit more versatile. I think I'm going to design for sort of spring summer. I want these t-shirts to be able to be standalone pieces and be able to be worn ideally with nothing. Specifically, one idea I have that is meant to be a standalone t-shirt, meant to sort of be half the focal of the look. See, when I'm designing a look, I personally think that when you're designing and when the pieces are going, what is it that you want the consumer to look at? What is it that you want people to be drawn to right away from the look? For me, I like designing it around one focal piece that is the bread and butter, is the deliciousness that is the entire look, and everything around it elevates the look, accompanies it well. So that's sort of where I'm going. I kind of have always wanted a t-shirt that has a sort of like slit opening at the neckline where the ribbing meets the actual self of the t-shirt, where it's open right here, because I really like heavy t-shirts. I like t-shirts that have a very heavyweight cotton. So I do think that's going to be the fabric that I use. I want a heavyweight cotton jersey, and I want the neckline to sort of split open so that a necklace can pop through. Because yes, you could wear your necklaces over it, but some necklaces are heavy and they actually make the neckline move sometimes. And I think it's an cute little detail if it's a very crisp neckband and the necklace is popping through. I think it's a really cute idea. I also think about the potential of wearing this t-shirt, say, over a collared shirt where the tie can go into that slit and sort of like disappear for a bit. Maybe there's multiple slits so that things can like weave through. I don't know if I want to take it that far today. Yes, I've always wanted a t-shirt that has a slit at the neckline so that a necklace can pop through. It brings up the opportunity of potential styling options, in my opinion. Even if it's a subtle decision, it's always something I've wanted. Next one I want to do is sort of a t-shirt that has a boob window. And it should be stated that I'm doing these t-shirts unisex, because I personally don't understand why we gender our clothing. I think clothing should just have a size and like sort of a range that is like meant to fit certain people. That's just my opinion. Like if you make one t-shirt that's unisex, instead of making like 3 sizes for men, 3 sizes for women, you can just have 6 sizes that can fit all of those people. It's just me personally. I do understand that there are different body types, but ideally, if this fits someone perfectly, regardless of their gender, they should be able to wear it. That's all. Okay, what was I talking about? Boob window. I want to do a t-shirt that sort of has a sort of double cut on the front. And I've seen t-shirts like this before, so I know it's nothing new. but I want to do it, so I'm going to do it. It's sort of a arc on the front and sort of has a tank top cut underneath and shows a little bit of chest. I like these t-shirts and I think it'll fit perfectly in this little idea. It's going to be an opening much like the first one, so that they sort of like echo each other. They're sort of both playing off of the same idea. I think for both of these t-shirts we're going to keep the back relatively basic, because for the last one, the last idea I had is sort of a mullet. For lack of a better term. It is a basic t-shirt up front, and I want the back to sort of have this huge drape that, again, is playing with open space in these three t-shirts. I think this little trio, this little family will work beautifully together as sort of this summer collection. I also wonder how the second t-shirt would look as a tank top. I'm sure I've seen it before, but I don't remember seeing any that I liked. So I'm doing them as like a basic t-shirt that could fit in every person's wardrobe. Because every time I've seen this t-shirt, it's either in really bright colors, or the self of the fabric is a color and then all the binding is in a pop of color and it's not always great. Or there's branding thrown on it. And as much as I understand branding your garments, I like basics. I like clothing that don't have logos on them. And if it is a logo, it better be a cute insignia. That's all I'm saying. So those are the three ideas for the t-shirts I have. I'm gonna do some sketching. Personally, when I'm coming to sketching just a design, I like to put it somewhere where I know the lines are gonna be clean. Usually for any look, I start on paper because I want to see it. And there's just something pleasurable about drawing on physical paper with a pencil. It's very, very pleasing. It pleases the little art geek inside of me. But for this one, I started on my tablet and I just designed 3 basic tees. So to start off with, I basically designed the outline of the basic tee. And for this basic tee, I really want it to just be very classic in structure. So it has a simple, this one is slightly a mock neck, but it's just so that we understand that it is a crew neck. It's not entirely to be a mock neck, but it is sort of to showcase that there is going to be a thick collar in the ribbing so that it can like slit open. And we're basically going to use this foundation for all the other tees. This is just a sketch again, so of course we can manipulate it and change it and figure out how it's going to be. This is not the final design. This is just the idea process. This is our brain dump, as you will. And as you see, while I'm doing this, while I'm going through and sketching, a lot of random ideas come up. I tried one where it's like goes inward. Oh, this is the different neckline options. This is one where it looks like a t-shirt is on top of a t-shirt. This is the back drape that I had in mind. The back drape was actually really, really pretty in the final notion. And as you can see, the last one I did is the one with that open chest. But I thought, oh, what if the open chest also had the open back? But I decided that that is too much, so I used them for 2 separate ideas. Now that we did all of the stuff on Procreate and we have some ideas that we sort of like, I can put the pictures of the ideas that I like right here. And here. And last one here. That sketch in some factories might have worked because it's a general idea and the lines are clean. It makes sense that a pattern maker might be able to actually create a pattern off of that. But there's also the tech flat that needs to be done. A tech flat is a production quality fashion illustration of the garment. Not of it on a person, of the garment alone. And there is some sort of method to how it is done. I won't go too much in detail because I'm not exactly teaching you how to do tech flats, although maybe I will in the future. I don't know where anybody else does them. I'm not even sure if there's any other apps to do it on, but I learned how to do them on Adobe Illustrator. They are, in my opinion, the easiest to do on Adobe Illustrator. So I'm very lucky that I have access to a production flat croquis. It's a woman's size 8 quarter scale. So everything that I'm drawing here is a perfect quarter scale to a woman's size 8 croquis. Now my nose is itching. I'm okay. Am I okay? I hope so. Shit. Like I said, this is a quarter scale of a woman's size 8 croquis. I use this for pretty much all of my croquis because it just gives me somewhere to work from. And it gives me a body that has different arm positions that I can create a tech flat from. I even do men's tech flats on this, except I just make them boxier and a little less fitted. But even then, I think most men look better in some feminine style lines. I've been using it ever since school, since I first started learning how to use Adobe Illustrator in learning how to design this stuff. I literally can show you some of my early work, but I don't want to get that down right now. Maybe I'll just throw in a few finished stuff right here. So the things we need to remember about a basic tee is it is a knit. So the thing about knits is they are going to have very, very different style lines and different opportunity for style lines than a woven garment would. Wovens don't have stretch, and if they do have stretch, they still need style lines, darts, and pleats to create structure. The thing we can get away with on knit fabrics is they can stretch to fit. They can still sort of fit the body very comfortably. That way, you know, it's almost like if you really think about any t-shirt that you're wearing, there's really only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actual like style lines sewn into it, and you know, some hems and finishings and shit. Realistically, it's side seams. Not all of them have side seams. There's something called spiral knit, which can create a body. You can control a lot with a t-shirt with a side seam. You can also make it a little bit more fitted because then you have somewhere to pull in from. But for example, this t-shirt that I'm wearing has no side seams. So that's one less seam that whoever was sewing this shirt had to deal with. So this is spiral knit. There's no side seam or back seam. It is one piece of fabric. It is knitted that way. The shoulders, however, are fully sewn in. This is a shoulder seam. And then of course there's the neck seam that attaches to the finishing that is this neck binding. I'm pretty sure it's called rib knit. It has little lines in it. They use it a lot for sweaters. This is also rib knit right here. Another thing to note is most t-shirts on the shoulder seam, they have like stitching on them because there's like binding on it. I don't think I did that on these tech flats because you don't really see it, but it is something that you still have to be aware of. And we actually can still draw it just by like rotating it forward a little bit and putting them there. But then of course that changes the design just a little bit. Now for this tech flat, I chose to go for it flat. So the shirt kind of looks like it is sitting flat rather than on a body. Or more that it is on a body that is going like this rather than sitting comfortably like this. I chose to do that because I wanted to show the sleeve specifically. And I think they end up looking a little nicer. More things like woven shirts and stuff like that, you want it to be drawn like someone is actually in them wearing them because those are built with structure. But for a t-shirt, we can get away with it like this. I can show you in the future how to do it as well, or how I do it. You can call this a tutorial, but this isn't a tutorial because I'm not teaching you exactly how to do it. I'm showing you how I do it. If you learn from this, that's, you know, good for you. Good job. Visual learner. This is boring. For this first t-shirt, I wanted it basic. I wanted it simple. It has simple, classic details to it. Simple cut, regular fit, so not a lot of ease into it. Ease is the distance between the garment and your body. So it can touch you comfortably, but there's still space between that. For example, this sleeve isn't skin tight. I can still pinch a little bit out of it to make it skin tight. That's about, I don't know, a ½ inch ease. Maybe less if you took it out of the entire circumference of it, but it looks like a ½ inch total ease. That's what allows it to fit comfortably in case you're wearing a long sleeve underneath this. Again, I wanted to keep it very, very simple. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. So now we're actually focusing on the style line and the detail of what we want this t-shirt to have. So we want to focus on the sort of details of it. We have the stitch lines and everything, so now we're focusing on the style details. What's making this t-shirt different than other t-shirts so that people want to purchase it? So I decide on this first one, I want to do that opening on the front that a necklace can peek through. Again, this opening can change, but I decided it'd be like a ½ inch difference just so it's very noticeable on this tech flat. The thing about a lot of designs is if you don't make it obvious what it is, it can be confused for something else. It can be confused for as an error that you didn't mean to make. That's something to remember. The design right now might not, or most likely will not, be the final design. It's just what we're working with for right now. It's the touch point. There's probably going to be 3 iterations of this before it actually is finished. This is just the first one. This is the first basic idea. We can play around with other ideas. Here is the finished t-shirt. It is simple, it's to the point, there's one style difference, and it's, in my opinion, perfect. What I'm doing here is so that we can sort of expedite this process, is I'm starting to design the other backs of the t-shirt. So in this case, I wanted a back that is a draped back. It sort of has a yoke, which if you don't know, a yoke, not egg yolk. I don't remember the spelling. I'm going to put the spelling here. And it's essentially a style line or a piece of fabric that actually accommodates the shoulder. And in a lot of wovens, it's used to sort of eliminate back darts and back style lines. It's actually pretty great. A lot of men's shirts have it. A lot of shirts in general have it. So here I am doing that. I wanted that to be sort of the foundation and then have this drape that sort of goes underneath it. Sort of a double layer in the back. Back cowls like this are usually self-lined. So it's actually a huge fabric that just gets folded at one part and then that just gets sewn down. To me, that's the best way to finish this because then the bottom just gets hemmed altogether. Or maybe it's a facing at the bottom. I don't know. This is just the basic tee that we did. This is the basic tee with the chest cut out. I drew it off camera. I forgot to screen record it essentially. I apologize. But essentially it's basic in its design. It's a sort of tank top and a crop top sort of mixed together. I'm so sorry I'm spacing out. I just really have to pay attention to this because I think a very important thing I was supposed to record didn't get recorded. Essentially, I forgot to show me designing all the other ones. Well, I designed them. I forgot to show me drawing all the other ones. This is actually what we ended up with, sort of the final designs. It's a basic tee. It's simple in its cut. It's got simple double cover stitch hemlines, simple stitching around the neckline so it doesn't go awry. This does end up changing. All the designs that we enjoy, a front and a back, are being put together on this board so that we can better see the entire little mini collection together. This collection of t-shirts, again, is still some change to everything. Literally, as I was going through and setting up these presentation boards, different decisions are made and different ideas come up. Because I, at one point, end up deciding... So this is actually where it ends up going down, right? Start showing all the different tees, right? We have the basic tee, we have the drape tee, and then we have the front cut tee. And then I start realizing that something's missing. There's some pizzazz missing. There's some fun missing from the first one. So I decide to take the front of the drape tee that has that necklace slit and I put it on the basic tee, keep the back basic, and the front tee that was basic, put it on to the front of the back drape tee. Wait, now I'm confused. Okay, essentially I do some swapping around. The basic tee becomes the neck cutout tee. The front of the basic tee becomes the front of the draped tee. And the back of the basic tee becomes the back of the front cut tee. Because to me, each t-shirt needs to have something, some element of this open cut, this like cut open space to sort of mesh together in a family. So the first one has it in the neck, the second one has it in the back, and the third one has it right on the chest. So to me, this is a perfect family. This is where at the end of the day, I was like, oh, I'm happy with this. Final thoughts. Final thought time. So at the end of everything, I like to sit and think to myself, am I happy with the result? Is it exactly what I wanted? What can be improved upon? Are there any changes I would make? If there are any changes I would make, what are they and why? Looking at the three designs, the only thing I would probably change is maybe do a little bit more research on how these edges are going to be finished. They look fine on paper, but I think in reality, there might be some issues with them. For the back drape tee, I think it's overall going to be perfectly executed design. Might not be able to be done in this heavy matte jersey. We might need to pick a lighter weight for that one specifically so that this drape can actually have a liquid fluidity to it, that it drapes really, really nicely and has this sort of freshness to it. So that's the one thing I would absolutely change. Rethink fabric, rethink finishing, figure out how those finishings are going to be drawn. So am I happy with this? Yeah, I'm actually very happy with this. For a round one design, I think they're perfectly drawn. There's a design element happening in each one of them, and they all feel like they would belong in the same collection. Are there improvements that we can make? Yes. We can probably figure out a better way to illustrate other finishings for these style lines, as well as better ways that we can illustrate their construction. And then maybe there needs to be a graphic somewhere here. Maybe there can be a basic tee in this collection, but maybe it's a graphic that sort of also echoes this idea of open space and being like cut open, ripped open, you know. Ooh, maybe it's horror. Ooh, maybe it's spooky. Ooh, maybe this is a fall collection. I'll have to think about it. But see, that's the thing about design. You can start with an idea and it can evolve and develop as you're working on it. Usually the first concept isn't the final one. So keep your mind open, keep your pencil sharpened, and keep designing. That's the thing about designing. It truly never ends. You could be entirely finished with a collection and think, I gotta do it all over. It's not good. It's gotta be restarted. And I unfortunately have done that many times. But we're here designing for fun. So I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something from it. And I hope this inspires you to design your own basic tee. I hope it goes well for you. I hope it doesn't keep you up at night like this one did. Yeah, literally last night I was thinking about this t-shirt design. Thinking about maybe 2 more t-shirts that fit into this collection. Because look, the only other thing I would want to do is a crop top and a graphic tee. So that could be really easy. The crop top can be the top part of the front cut tee, and the graphic tee is just that first basic tee we designed, literally with a graphic on it that sort of encapsulates the mood of this collection. Which I don't know what this collection is yet. I guess we'll find out as we start designing. Next time, jeans! I'll see y'all later. I hope y'all get some good sleep. Hope y'all stay hydrated. And, have fun. Bye.